Hey, what if I told you the one thing keeping you from the top 1% in sales isn't your territory, it's not the crappy economy, or even that new product marketing is forcing you to sell? It's something much simpler. Mastering it can transform your entire career. All it takes are a few easy daily steps. So, stick with me till the end of this video, and I'll share a step-by-step, bulletproof plan that I've used to generate millions of revenue and help countless others become the top 1% in sales and achieve the same success. Who am I, and why the hell should you even care? I'm Tabarak. I'm a seasoned sales coach with 20 plus years of experience. I was most recently a regional vice president at a major software company. I've helped top salespeople succeed for years now, all because I've taught them 5 key tips that boosted my own career. Today, I'll share these strategies so you can achieve the same exact success. Okay, now that we got that out the way, let's dive into how the top 1% in sales use these exact strategies to absolutely crush it. Harsh reality that most people aren't willing to talk about, at least not out loud, and definitely not in public, is that they're not living the 1% life, not in sales, and not in their personal lives. In fact, they wake up, they go to work, and do just enough to get by and not get fired. They make excuses for why they didn't accomplish their goals, why the customer didn't buy, why they're lazy, why they're distracted. Honestly, what they hate to admit or even reflect on is the fact that they flat out don't have the right mindset to be successful. The first key step is getting your damn mind right. You have to learn how to master your mindset. The most successful people understand that mindset, it's everything. I'm reminded of a quote from Jim Rohn that clearly demonstrates mindset over everything. He said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." When you strive to be great, life will definitely get hard. So instead of looking at this as an opportunity to quit, change your perspective. Look at the challenge as an opportunity to rise to the next level. Top salespeople know this. In fact, they know getting to the next level is getting through that hard place, because that's where all the quitters and average people stop. You ever wonder why some people consistently win while others always seem to struggle? Think about it. The common trait with the best salespeople is that they don't get in the dumps over a simple no. Shoot, we all know that sometimes that simple no can be a string of no's, no's for days. Yeah, it might sting a bit, and sometimes it just doesn't feel good, but we know that it's a closer step to the next yes. You gotta stay positive, you gotta keep pushing. Sales can be emotionally draining. It's kind of a ridiculous game sometimes, but high performers maintain and set a positive mindset model no matter what life throws at them. You ever notice that guy in the office? Let's call him Cam. He walks around, he's talking to people, he's cheery, he's up on his feet most of the day, but when he's at his desk, he's making phone calls and his feet are kicked up on the desk, and you just turn your head and you see him shooting crumpled pieces of paper into the trash can like he's Steph Curry. He's always leaving early on Fridays, you know he's golfing, yet somehow he has the worst territory and he crushes it every single quarter. And then there's that one guy, let's call him Steve. Steve jokes around, but most of the time he's just working really hard at his desk. He always seems stressed. He's constantly dealing with problems in his territory or with his prospects. Even though he has more leads than Cam, there's always a reason why the deal never closes. Whether the customer wasn't ready to buy, or they ghosted him, or they went to another competitor, whatever it is, Steve has at least a dozen excuses ready to go. Let's face it, these two are doing something completely different from each other. Steve's not as prepared or as skilled as Cam, and it all starts with mindset. Cam and Steve's actions and attitudes are clear pictures of their mental models. Cam, he sees everything as a game and an opportunity to get better, while Steve dreads every call, like he's going into battle and he knows he's going to lose. Cam sees himself as the man. He's the man at sales. He's that guy. He's always offering valuable solutions for his customers, and everybody loves him. While Steve focuses on extracting the most he can get from his prospects. Cam thinks, I'll give it my best shot. If this deal doesn't go through, it's okay. I'll get the next one. It's all good. While Steve comes off as thirsty. He's desperate for sales. His prospects can clearly see the anxiety and the neediness. It's actually kind of gross. But Cam's confident that following his sales process consistently will lead to more closes. And Steve relies on last-minute pressure tactics without trying to build any value. Steve's actually kind of a snake. Cam enjoys his job and all the challenges that it brings, while Steve is resentful. He's stuck in a rut and he blames everyone but himself. Moral of the story, be like Cam, not like Steve. If you're like Steve, just do better. Please. Mastering your mindset is the first step in setting yourself apart from low or average performers. When you get your mindset right, you set the stage for the next step, continuous learning and improvement. That opens up the door for everything else. Now let's talk about the power of continuous improvement. We're in a fast-changing with new tech products, new competitors, new pricing models. Shoot, we got new advanced AI coming out soon. That'll change everything. Some of you don't even need any more advice from me. I mean, your job won't really be here anymore, but we'll leave that for another video. Back to step number 2, continuous learning and improvement. What if I could offer you a way to get 1% better every day? Continuous learning isn't just about being smart. It's the ability to think critically and make the decisions that benefit you. It's about understanding how sales world works and using that to your advantage. It's not just about the big commission checks. I know you think it is, but it's not. You have to have the skills to add value to your customers. So where do you start adding value? Well, you do this by understanding your customers' problems better than the average salesperson. The average salesperson doesn't take the time to actually really be curious and try to learn about how to solve the problem for the sake of curiosity, not just the paycheck. So, once you understand this, you end up finding unique solutions where most average people give up. Solving the problem for the customer, really learning about their situation, encourages your customer to hand over their hard-earned money and choose you as their expert. Best salespeople are always working on their craft. They go to trainings, they read books, they find mentors that are actually better than them. So how do you do this? Well, successful people commit to lifelong learning. They invest in themselves with time and money. They have a sense of curiosity and a drive that's constantly nagging at them. They have to get smarter. They have to get better. They do this even though learning is hard. And it doesn't feel good all the time. In fact, learning and failing at something that's new and outside your skill set, it's downright embarrassing sometimes. It's awkward. It makes you feel the opposite of smart. Just a big dummy, dumb, just real dumb. It's the worst. Continuous learning is frustrating. It's awkward. Sometimes it's like stepping into a club every single night. The new DJ, a new crowd, you barely even know how to dance. And at first, each night feels like a challenge. You don't know the moves, the rhythm keeps changing, and you're constantly trying to keep up. You stumble, you make awkward moves, you look stupid. And sometimes you feel out of place and ask yourself, why am I even here? Like, why the hell am I actually here? But you don't give up. Night after night, you hit the dance floor. You start picking up new moves. You understand the beats. You keep showing up. And the crowd, they start showing you love. Each misstep becomes a lesson. Each awkward moment turns into an opportunity to improve. And then things start to change for you. You watch the best dancers. You learn the techniques. You start stealing little bits and pieces from everybody and add them to your style. Now you're feeling the beat. Now you can kind of bounce and you have some rhythm. You're not just keeping up to the changing music, you're learning TikTok dances. You're teaching everyone how to Dougie. Your moves become smoother, your confidence grows. You're pop locking, you're break dancing. Now you start drawing attention for all the right reasons. In sales, just like on the dance floor, continuous learning keeps you ahead, keeps you closing bigger deals, staying on top of your game. And that initial awkwardness, that difficulty you felt, that levels you up. That makes you well-rounded. You're a well-rounded sales artist. You can become a pro at the dance of success. By committing to continuous improvement, you separate yourself from the rest of the pack. And it's fast. And you keep growing, and you get better. You naturally add more value to those around you, which leads to our next tip, adding massive value. To be in the top 1% in sales, you have to know that sales is about giving massive value. Customers trade their time and hard-earned money to get their problem solved. So, the difference between what the solution is worth to the customer and what they paid is called the value gap. For everyday items, this is simple. Imagine you're at the airport. You gotta dump your water before you went through security. You're probably still thirsty. What do? Well, buy the cheapest bottle of water you can find in the airport, which is ridiculous because it's all overpriced anyway. But you know what it's worth. It quenches your thirst, and even if it means you have to take a bathroom trip mid-flight, you get exactly what you pay for. But for big ticket items or extremely complex solutions, it's completely different. The best salespeople know that if a customer is only concerned about price on those items, they did something wrong. They haven't shown the real value of the solution. You want to dominate the market? Learn how delivering massive value sets you apart from the rest of the competition. All right, let's break down the value gap. The value gap is made up of everything that makes your solution worth more than just the price tag. So what's the value? How does your product enhance the customer's life or business? How does it solve a problem? What specific issues does it address? Does it save time? Does it streamline the process or eliminate wasted time for the customer? Does it improve status? Will it elevate the customer's status or reputation? Will they get to look better in front of their friends, peers, and coworkers because of this? Does it reduce effort? How does it make things easier for them? And does it increase comfort? Does it provide convenience or just an easy peace of mind for them? These elements are what make up the value gap. You can see the characteristics appearing across the spectrum to make up the gap between the product offered and the price being charged. Remember that together they illustrate why your solution is worth the investment for your customer. Great salespeople don't just push products, they offer solutions. They understand the customer's need and go the extra mile, find the different ways to solve common problems. Successful people do the same in their relationships and in their communities. Think of a personal trainer who works one-on-one with their clients, tailor their workouts and diets to meet the exact goals. A great salesperson does the same for their customers. They customize their approach to make sure that the client succeeds. Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So adding value sets you apart from the average performers who only do the bare minimum. Focus on the value. That means stepping out of your comfort zone. That leads to our next point. Fourth tip is to embrace discomfort through perfect practice. You notice that the top 1% of people in any field stay calm when shit gets crazy? Like when average players flip out, they lose their shit. Pros stay collected, almost like they're actually enjoying the challenge, as if they've faced it 1,000 times before. The top 1% excel by mastering the fundamentals. They continue to revisit and improve the skills they learned early in their careers. Just like NBA players, they still do layup drills before every game because they prep, just like the salespeople who are at the top of their game. They prep for their calls, they do their research, they prospect, they rehearse questions to guide the sales process. They sit there and they think about those questions before they talk to their customers in advance. And they're meticulous about follow-up and they follow through on their promises. These are the basic fundamentals in sales. Success is about consistently rehearsing key actions, not relying on single moments. There's no one action that will make you better than the top 99% of people in sales or in life. So how do they do this? How do top salespeople turn discomfort into mastery? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about perfect practice. Understanding the difference between practice makes perfect and perfect practice makes perfect is what separates average players from the top 1%. Yeah, I know, you're probably rolling your eyes right now. So here's the formula. Understand that process that you're doing, practice. There's an actual breakdown of how to do this. First, what you gotta do is break down the practicing into manageable chunks. You have to have a clear plan and an intention every practice session. All right, I know salespeople are gonna hate me for this, but role play. You're gonna have to role play and get feedback. Practice until you can perform it perfectly. And then engage in live scenarios with real customers. So take the role play, bring it to a real life customer situation. Practice what you practiced in practice with the real customer. Think about it. If you don't have somebody watching you during that, you're gonna have to keep track of that and give yourself feedback for the real life practice example with your customer. Stack the new sessions and practice the routine. Always getting better and adding one more additional piece while you're getting feedback and seeking how to improve in each of these processes. Last piece, repeat the process continuously. This doesn't stop. Best salespeople, they regularly push themselves out of their comfort zone. It's part of their mental model. They stay uncomfortable to keep improving. Not everybody can do this. This is what separates the good from the great. They do this by tackling challenges head on. They make the cold calls. They approach new leads. They face rejection without hesitation. Yeah, it hurts, but they know it's on the other side of pain is where they get better. They understand that growth happens outside of that comfort zone. They're willing to take the risk and push the boundaries. Now imagine an athlete in front of a crowd who practices the same movements over and over again until it's flawless. Top salespeople do the exact same thing. They do this by making cold calls and role plays, scenarios in front of their peers and coaches. They level up their skills and refine their techniques under scrutiny. What does that mean? You gotta be okay with having people watch you make mistakes. Yes, it's gross. Yes, it can be awkward. But they know public practice and feedback is what turns discomfort into mastery. There's a quote from Michael Jordan. He said, "You can practice shooting 8 hours a day, but if your technique is wrong, then all you become is very good at shooting the wrong way." Embracing discomfort through perfect practice helps you build resilience, which is crucial for long-term success. And that brings us to our final point, becoming well-rounded in sales. High-level salespeople, they've done a lot of work to be great in the game. But what stops them from reaching the top level? Not just the top, the pinnacle of their game. It's because they're not well-rounded. Most are great at raw sales skills. They can prospect, great on the calls, they have amazing presentations, but they lack the high-level analytics and math skills, or vice versa. They find themselves painted into a corner. They leave money on the table because they don't do the math right. They get incorrect calculations, or they lack the understanding of a deal's real analytics. In most sales organizations, these roles are totally separate. New business sales reps, they flex their pure sales skills. They take care of business, and they don't really worry about the math so much. On the other side of the house, existing sales accounts, they flex their math skills and their analytics all the time. They spend most of their time leaning on the analytics and hypotheticals to maximize overages and find areas for growth to make more sales. This makes them clever. Yeah, they have solutions that they can find for customers. They can stop them from getting churn. They can hit all their quotas doing the same time. But these skills are not mutually exclusive. Are you truly ready to become a top performer? You gotta develop well-rounded skill sets in every aspect of sales. The top 1% in sales, they're not just great at one thing, they're well-rounded. They balance raw sales skills with high-level analytics, making them adaptable and truly resilient. Their skills are stacked. This allows them to maximize every opportunity and provide massive value to their customers. There's no guessing with their skill set. They got it. It's in their back pocket. They know what the hell they're doing. Being well-rounded makes you adaptable, resilient, and makes it crucial, especially in the case when things aren't going well. You can bounce right back. You don't just have short-term success, you have long-term success. High performers, they master both the art of selling, science of analytics, and they can handle any situation that pops up, and they have the confidence and the expertise. Think of this. Imagine a Swiss Army knife. Just like that versatile tool, the top 1% in sales, they're equipped with a variety of skills. They're stacked with skills. Whether it's crafting a perfect pitch or analyzing complex data, they can handle any situation that's thrown at them. By developing a well-rounded skill set, you set yourself up for long-term success. You'll be able to maximize each opportunity and provide the best value for your customers. Hey, let's talk one-on-one for just a second. High performers, they have a clear sense of direction and purpose. They know their goals, they have a solid plan to achieve them. But on the other hand, low to average performers, they struggle. They struggle with setting goals. They often lack clarity. This keeps them from making real progress in their life. Let's recap the 5 principles that will help you join the top 1% in sales. All right, 5 principles. Master your mindset. It's all about seeing challenges as opportunities. Get your damn head in the game. Gotta stay positive. Number 2, continuous improvement. What does that mean? Always stay curious. Always be learning. Sharpen your skills regularly to stay ahead. Number 3, add massive value. Give value up front. Focus on providing exceptional value to your customers. Gotta go above and beyond. You gotta solve their problems. Number 4, perfect practice makes perfect. Embrace the discomfort. Practice the hard stuff regularly. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Number 5, gotta be well-rounded. What does that mean? Balance your raw sales skills and the analytics and numbers. Gotta put them together. So when you put them together, you're versatile, you're resilient, you're much more adaptable. These 5 steps won't just take you to the top 1% in sales, but also the principles that can make you a better person in life. Most people, they're not born with innate sense of direction or purpose. So instead of asking how to become the most successful person, more successful than 99% of people in tech sales, what you gotta do is gotta think, why? Why don't I have the purpose and direction that's better than 99%? You want to learn how to ignite your passion and achieve long-lasting success? Even if you learn what it takes to go from an average performer to the top 1%, you're still missing a crucial step. Dive deeper. Check out Brian in the next video on developing your purpose and why you're not unmanageably rich from tech sales yet.